Hello dear students, welcome to Vishnu IAS Academy and welcome back to Know Your Today discussion of 27th July 2024 Saturday. Dear students, I hope you are doing good and you are happy. I hope you have watched the budget session video which we uploaded yesterday. Thank you for your responses. We are getting good responses regarding the session. We will be coming to the aspirant community with such sessions which will have immense benefit in your preparation, UPSC civil services preparation. Telling this, we are going to discuss about the articles which appeared in today's newspaper, which have high relevance for the UPSC civil services examination and other competitive examinations too. Dear students, see how we are planning, how we are making the content for this program. You should know about it. See, it is not just we are telling you what is the theme of that particular news. It's not just discussing the theme or the static part of the, even we are letting you know that what exactly is the article talking about. Many a times from that particular article itself, you will have a lot of value addition to add it in your mains answer. So this session will have it will summarize you what exactly the article is talking about, and also we will be going into the background story or background theme of that particular article. So here we go. The first article is Supreme Court to examine if governors are subverting federalism. This is the first article. From the name itself you can understand, see, federalism is mentioned and it's regarding the something between the state and the center. Now let's see what is it's about the governor's role. Now in Supreme Court there had an petition from Kerala government regarding the governor of Kerala was delaying in acting around 7 state bills. So dear students, in this context of this article, we need to have a look on the article 213 of our constitution. So what does this article 213 of the constitution says regarding the legislative domain of the states? You should know about article 213, okay, because this is very important. You can get a question in prelims also, and also you can quote this article 230 whenever you are getting a question in mains regarding the legislative domain of the state or even with regard to the governor's role. Okay, so the articles which have been mentioned, there are 3 articles which is mentioned in this article. The first one is the article 230, which deals about the conditions under which a governor can reserve a bill for president's consideration. So the problem with this particular in this case which have filed, the major thing that the Kerala government put forwarded was that the governor is reserving bills for the president's consideration. Because of that, the bills are getting delayed. It's not just the bills are getting delayed, it's also impacting the quality life of the people, quality of the administration too, and quality of administration, quality of the life of the people. So that is why Kerala government approached the Supreme Court, and the article which have been discussed the light of this particular Supreme Court intervention is article 213, the first article, and also article 200 and 201. Okay, and in article 200 and 201 it talks about the procedures for granting assent to the bills, and also if the bills need to be reserved for the president, it is talked in the 201 article, and in article 200 it talks about the procedure. So dear students, here article 213 we discussed, article 200 we discussed, and article 201, and there is one article is also being violated with this act of the governor, that is article 14. Article 14 has also been violated. And now let's look into little bit more. We will go into the articles related to the bills or the articles related to the governor's power over the bills. The first article, as we discussed, it is article 200. What does article 200 say? It says about the process for the bills to be passed by the legislative assembly, and as per this, governor will have multiple options. He can give the assent, okay, or he can withhold the assent, or he can reserve this particular bill for the consideration by the president. Okay, and also the governor can rescind or return the bill also whenever the house as the bill has come to the governor. He can also return a bill for the reconsideration of the bill to the house itself. Okay, now the next article is article 201. What does article 201 says? It says about the reservation of the bill to the president for the consideration of the president. This article you should not miss. And see, there are some conditions in which the bill can be sent or reserved for the president, the situations. Okay, so governor have that discretion. He can consider the bill, reserve the bill for the consideration of the president. The reservation is obligatory where the bill passed by the state legislature endangers the position of state high court. Here you have to very careful. If the position of the state high court here, if it is having some impact or it is endangering the position of the state of the high court, then it is mandatory that this bill should be sent for the consideration of the president. Okay, apart from that, governor can, as per this situations, if he feel as per this 1 2 3 4 5 situations, under this 5 situation, if he feels that this particular bill is having some or other kind of impact on the provisions of the constitution, it is opposing the DPSP, it is against the larger interest of the country. See, here it is little bit vague. Okay, so the governor, using his discretion, he can actually think that okay, this particular bill can be against the larger interest of the country, and he can send it to the president. But if it is regarding the high court, it is obligatory to send it for the president. Apart from that, see, one situation, it's against the constitutional provisions, it is opposed to the DPSP, it is against the larger interest of the country, and also it is having grave national importance. And the next final condition is that deals with the compulsory acquisition of property under Article 31A of the Constitution. And many times what happens, the governor will not beyond an extent, he will not withhold the assent, which is very unpopular, that have happened. So what he will do, he will consider it for the he will refer it to the president for the consideration of the president. So this is the issue about, we have discussed multiple articles. So these articles you should keep it in your note or wherever you want. The next article is regarding using children's personal data legally and securely. Now let's see what the article is talking about. The article is talking about the concern regarding the privacy of the children, of the students who are studying in the schools or the educational institutions. So here what you have to see is that there are two platforms that have been discussed, the UDISC and also the recently launched APPR system. Okay, so see, there is one judgment is being discussed in this article. It is regarding case Puttaswamy case, very important case. Whenever we are talking about the privacy, then Puttaswamy case is something that comes into the discussion. So there are two things basically. One is the UDISC that was launched in 2018 by the Ministry of Education, and also the APPR that was introduced as part of the National Educational Policy in 2020. So both this platform actually they collect the data, the details of the students, and the concern which is being discussed here is that, see, for the data of the children too, even it is collected for the educational purposes, but many times, see, it is being given to the DigiLocker or some edtech companies, it raises privacy concerns. So this is the article is talking about. Okay, now what is this UDISC scheme? It was launched in 2018. What was the objective? The objective was to, in order to enhance the academic performance, they are collecting the real-time data on how the school is functioning, the infrastructure, the teachers, the student enrollment, everything. Okay, and also what the APPR also you should have an understanding. Right now, recently only it was launched. So what is APPR? Okay, or Automated Permanent Academic Account Registry. First thing you should understand is that it was introduced as a part of the National Educational Policy 2020 and also National Credit and Qualification Framework. The most important thing that can be expected in the prelims examination is the registration to this APPR ID is voluntary or not. See, it is mandatory or not. So it is just voluntary thing, it's not mandatory. This you should take into consideration, and it is a 12-digit ID which will be giving to each student where he can consolidate his academic records into a single platform. This is the benefit of APPR, so that regardless of the location, his academic achievement can be accessed or can be understood or can be reviewed by any authority or any academic for any academic purposes. Okay, so the major concern is what that is this APPR or any other platform that is collecting the details of the students, many times there is a chance that the data, the details, the personal details of the students can be handed over to some other entity, and here the privacy concern is coming. And we also discussed about the judgment, Puttaswamy judgment. Whenever we are talking about the privacy, this judgment come into. Okay, the next article is regarding a new push in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so this article, it's talking about India has successfully hosted the BIMSTEC, second BIMSTEC foreign ministers retreat in Delhi, which discussed about enhancing security and investment in the Bay of Bengal region. Okay, now let's go into the BIMSTEC. We have to see what is this BIMSTEC all about. Okay, first thing, BIMSTEC is a regional organization. How many members do BIMSTEC have? It has 7 members. Right, from Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka and Thailand. It's a regional organization having 7 members. When it was formed in 1997. Which area it is focusing? The economic cooperation, the technical cooperation, the area that is being focused by BIMSTEC is the Bay of Bengal region. And see why BIMSTEC, a regional grouping called BIMSTEC is very relevant, having high relevance, because see, it is home to around 1.5 billion people who is contributing to around 3.8 trillion US dollar valued GDP. Okay, and it started, if you are tracing to the history of the BIMSTEC, it can be linked to the Bangkok Declaration, which established in 1997. So all this, see, I am underlining some words, some nouns, some figures. This I am underlining because in the prelims examination, these are the things that you can expect in your statement, which will be interchanged by the examiner to make the statement confusing. So here this history, when we are talking, it can be linked to the Bangkok Declaration. It was formed in 1997, which area it is, how many countries, and initially if we are going, there were only 4 countries, and which was known as BIMSTEC, and the countries were Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka and Thailand Economic Corporation. Okay, so this is about the BIMSTEC. The next article, dear students, is fiscal federalism. Okay, fiscal federalism. Yesterday also we had discussion upon this. We were discussing about the taxing the mineral rights. Recently the Supreme Court had the ruling on taxing mineral rights. It's for actually state have some authority over them. State can generate revenue with this mineral rights. Okay, so now let's go into the entries that have been discussed. Okay, in the state list there are 2 entries that have been discussed, that is entry 50 and entry 49, which talks about the states list to tax minerals rights and land. Okay, so states having, as per the entry 50 and entry 49, they are having that right. Okay, that right to tax this mineral. Okay, so this is the article 40, entry 49 and 50 of the state list. So this is talking about the state list, and this was widely discussed in the last 2 days also in the news. Okay, so here you should know the constitutional perspective, and in the 7th schedule in that state list, entry 49 and entry 50. Okay, the next article is fighting militants in the mountains, an article which showcases the need of immediate course of action in curtailing, in combating this militant activities which is happening in the Kashmir. And recently more number of incidents have been reported from Kashmir. So see, it basically started from the delusion of the article 370 in 2019. The militants have actually increased. Okay, now see, there is a major problem that have been discussed, is the one of the major cause for this militants to get into and also make their accommodation or make their area of working very smooth, is one reason is the dense forest that is available, the terrain and the dense forest. These things are actually giving them the cover to hide. Okay, and they are actually getting the local support also. The recent 1 week ago we have discussed that, see, we should make this fight against the militant activities involving the local community also. So that we have already discussed in one episode of the Know Your Today. Okay, the next article is talking 219 proposals for High Court judges appointment are being processed, says sender. Okay, so the article is talking about, see, there are around 219 proposals for the appointment of judges. They are actually in processing. Okay, so now let's go through the articles which are related to the appointment of the High Court judges. Okay, the first article is Article 217. Article 217, which says that the judge of the High Court should be appointed by the President in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, okay, and the Governor of the state. So, whose consultation is needed? Okay, Governor of the state, Chief Justice of India. Who will be appointing it? President. Here you have to be very sure. It's not appointed by the Governor of the state. Okay. In the case of appointment of a judge other than the Chief Justice, this is we talked about the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice of the High Court is consulted. Like any other judge, if it is he is to be appointed, the consultation of the Chief Justice of that particular High Court is also taken into consideration. Okay, and the consultation process, there will be a collegium which will comprise of the Chief Justice of India and 2 senior most judges. Okay, so this is the article which talks about the appointment of the High Court judges. Okay, so this article you should know what are the conditions it is being said to appointed as the High Court of the judge, and who appoints the Chief Justice. Okay, and who appoints the other judges of the High Court. Okay, so these things you should understand. Okay, so here it is saying Article 217, the judge of a High Court shall be appointed by the President in consultation with the Chief Justice of India or the Governor of the state. So if it is the other judges other than the Chief Justice, then the Chief Justice also, his opinion, his consultation also need to be taken. That's the thing of regarding Article 270. The next article is PM Defense Agnipath scheme on anniversary of Kargil war. So here why I put this article in front of you is to understand how the Prime Minister is still introducing the Agnipath scheme to the people of the country. See, for a UPSC aspirant, for everything that the government is introduced, by every scheme that the government is introducing, we should have the clear-cut understanding how the government is actually, what are the objectives of the government with regard to that particular scheme. So here Prime Minister had said something, Prime Minister had put an observation regarding why the Agnipath scheme was introduced. Okay, so only this point you should take care, and you can write it in your mains answer also if questions from Agnipath is coming, because you are quoting Prime Minister's observation. Its observation was that, see, the government wanted to make the army strengthened, and also he wants to bring more youth into the army. Okay, so he is telling that we are modernizing in order to strengthen the army. We are actually come up with the Agnipath scheme. So Agnipath scheme, related Agnipath scheme, the details you must have already know, and it's from this article the main objective is that how Modi is in putting the Agnipath scheme in front of the citizens of the India. That observation that he is having is also important for us to can be quoted in the answers. Okay, the next article, ASEAN cornerstone of India's Act East policy. So from this article, Jaishankar, our honorable minister, have attended some conference, and now we have to see what is ASEAN. Okay, what is ASEAN? So now what is ASEAN? So ASEAN is a Southeast Asian Nations Association. It was formed on 8th August, which is observed as ASEAN Day, and its secretariat is in Indonesia, Jakarta. Okay, and the motto of ASEAN is one vision, one identity, and one community. The next article is Royal Burial Mounds of Assam, now on UNESCO World Heritage List. Two things we have to learn here. The first one is the site, that is the Charedo Moidam site. Okay, this is a 700-year-old burial system, and it is linked to the Ahom dynasty from Assam. Okay, so now it is now going to enter into the World Heritage List of UNESCO as the 43rd property from India. Okay, and this Moidam is having a similar structure that of pyramids of Egypt. Okay, and this is the news about, and now let's quickly go to some facts about this Charedo Maidans, and which kingdom was the reason for that. Okay, so It represented the late medieval mound burial tradition of Thai Aham community in Assam. Okay, so Aham community also you should have a look on, because they can ask you questions from Aham community also. Okay, so Aham community, it was established in 1228 in the Brahmaputra valley of Assam, and this kingdom was founded by whom? Chaulum Sukafa. Okay, he was a 13th century ruler, and there is an important treaty that you should remember, is the Treaty of Yandhabu in 1806. The treaty, the importance of this treaty is that, see, they ruled their land till the province was annexed to the British in 1826, and that annexed because of the Treaty of Yandhabu. Okay, so this is the treaty. Aham kingdom, you should know. Next article, capital gain regime won't hurt reality. So now let's have a quick on the capital gains tax, which is discussed in the article. The first one, what is a capital tax? The capital, the word itself it says the term capital gains can be defined as profits accumulated from the sale of capital asset. If a capital asset is being sold, then there will be a profit. So on those profit, the taxes is charged, that is called as capital gains tax. Okay, and what are the capital assets? Few capital assets example: land, buildings, house property, vehicles, patents, trademarks, leasehold rights, machinery, jewelry are examples of capital assets. See, this year prelims examination, they had a question on fixed capital. So in that sense, since they have asked, we will have an understanding of what are these capital assets to. Okay, now this is the capital gains tax. I hope you understood. For the profits they are accumulating from the sale of this capital asset, on those profit there is a tax charged, that tax is called capital gains tax. Okay, so now that's from my end for today's Know Your Today discussion. So dear students, please incorporate this content, these articles into your daily answer writing or any test mains exam you are writing, because every article I would like to tell, as I already mentioned, that I will be putting up many value additions that you can add in your answers, and the way the prelims question 2 is discussed. Okay, so that's from my end. See you tomorrow with the next discussion of Know Your Today. Until we meet next time, bye bye, take care, happy learning.